Hey, good morning, everyone. I'm here. I've made it. Happy Monday. I certainly hope that this has been a great day for you so far. It's Angela McGowan, your professional healthcare advocate, caregiver strategist, and here's my book, What You Don't Know Could Kill You: How to Get Out of the Hospital Alive. That is always the goal. The real goal is not to go in there, but if we have to go in, we want to come out. And I am the founder of Angie's Pace, patient advocates committed to excellence. So, good morning and happy Monday. So, we're going to be, well, first, let me always give you the link that if you would like to come on live or if you have and want to share or ask questions, you're always have that opportunity. I want to say hello to my replay viewers, and you can also leave comments below if there's a question or something that you'd like to joining the conversation with, but maybe you weren't available at this particular time. So we're going to begin on another series, and the series is called Can You Hear Me Now? How to Give Your Physician an Annual Review. So in chapter 6, I actually talk about this uh, review, but we're also want to recognize this month that it is Immunization Awareness Month from 0 to 18. But I'm really going to change that because when you look at the schedule, they don't really call them zeros. They say from birth to 18. So we don't want to call our children zeros from birth. So we're going to talk about the immunizations first and vaccines. Let's talk about that first. Now, I'm going to tell you for as long as I can remember, well, as long as I've had children, immunizations and vaccinations of children are very personal. And if you want to get into something at the little birthday party, start talking about who did or who didn't and when you should or why you shouldn't. It's not something that we can discuss at the birthday parties, not at all. But it is something that you should have detailed discussions with your pediatrician. It is something you should do a great deal of research on. It is something that, married couples, before they get married, they need to discuss, because I know couples that one spouse, their family did not believe in vaccinations, and the other spouse did. And, both of them can show that, you don't need them or you do need them. So that is something you need to talk about. That is something that can get into, like, if and I think it is brought up mostly if the mother-in-law thinks you should or should not. Now, I don't want to give bad reps to mother-in-law, but hey, that's what goes on there. Okay, the mother-in-law's like, we didn't give our kids shots, and this is what goes on. We did give our kids shots, and I don't want my grandchild. So it's something personal. It's personal. It's a big subject. Please talk about it. We're going to talk about what we know, and that is according to the CDC, the Center for Disease Control. We're going to discuss their schedule of vaccinations from birth to 18, what they recommend, what is to go on. And, it's not about you agreeing or disagreeing. It's about what is being implemented, what is, when you go to the doctor, what you can expect. And there's even, we want to talk about one of the vaccinations that have been moved up in the time frame schedule. Okay. So right now, as I see the CDC's schedule, there are 7 types of vaccinations that your children will get from birth to 6 months. 7 that are already scheduled. From the time they are assigned a pediatrician, that little chart that comes up, there's a regulation for each one. Now, of course, from birth, they're only going to get like 1 dose. The first month, looks like they just get 1 dose of another. But by that second month, that's when they get those 2, 3 shots, 2 on one thigh. Yeah, it's a lot. And that's probably the worst night, because that baby is hollering and screaming, and it goes on and on. And have the little lumps in their legs where the medication is. And so it's a lot going on. So that's a real trying time. all of these situations with these shots are a trying time, especially when maybe you might find out that your child is allergic or has a reaction. So it's a very sensitive subject. Now, this year, the CDC declared measles to be an epidemic. Okay, and the age for the first rubella shot of the measles or slash rubella is mandated to 6 months. It was 9 months. That's a part 2 and 3. But it was, measles, measles was eradicated in America, according to the CDC, like almost 20 years ago. And so that began some of the conversation that people have with whether or not you need to take that, or maybe just take the first shot and not continue with the other boosters. Because a lot of the vaccinations, especially measles, has always been a big one about whether it caused other problems and the side effects for children. But there is a big write-up with the CDC where they are standing by that these shots and boosters do not have anything to do with children becoming autistic or having any type of learning disabilities. That was the big contention that went on when people began to say, I'm not having my child vaccinated, or they could get part 1 and they couldn't continue on with the boosters. So remember, now I did talk about this earlier, epidemics breaking out on the East Coast in New York, on the West Coast, I believe it was Washington and Seattle, Washington, also in Oregon. And I think it was like 5 to 10 states where they considered whatever area the breakout was epidemic proportions. And there were 20 states by the end of the coverage of this epidemic that had been hit with epidemics. And so now the CDC sent information to all doctors, healthcare providers. They moved these shots up to 6 months. And especially on the East Coast, I believe it was in New York, it was mandated to the point that if they came to and found you had a child or you were in daycare, you had to have that child vaccinated and there had to be proof. Otherwise, there was a fine. So that's how fast the epidemic came and how strong it came. That it was like they couldn't believe how many children had contracted the measles. And so they want to, and even adults, they want to eradicate. So, they started at a young age. So we're going to continue to, go on with our continuation of information for these vaccinations the rest of this month. But if you would like to get more direct information, you can always go. I tell you anything you're looking for about diseases, shots, treatment. You can look first at www.cdc.gov. They have everything on a website. You type in search, it's going to come up. So we'll be talking about this, as I said, continually, as we want to give you education and what you can prevent from turning into a problem, in your neighborhood, in your city, and in your state in regards to diseases becoming epidemics. All right, so let's go to our next subject, and that is about getting started with the series that we want to bring to you. And that is, hey, can you hear me now? How to give your physician an annual review. I think maybe we aren't giving them an annual review. Maybe you don't know how. Maybe you've never thought of doing it. But here's the question. Have you ever taken the time to do an annual review of your physician and the care you receive? Why or why not? So in my book, What You Don't Know Could Kill You, How to Get Out of the Hospital Alive, okay, in this book, chapter 6, I talk about why people don't do that. Now, first of all, listen, everyone that's an employee gets an annual review. To some extent, they might get quarterly. It might be done on a series of projects, but everyone eventually comes to the 1 year, to the annual review. Now, in between year to year, there might be other reviews, but we all get the annual review if you are an employee. If you are an employer or self employed, shall I say, you definitely are doing reviews of yourself, of your company, of what's going on with your customers, because that's how you continue to grow. That's how you keep your customers. And so it is the same thing in the medical field. And so let me read something from my book. It says, have you ever felt like making a request of your primary care physician or any specialist for that matter was a lot like pleading your case before a judge in a courtroom? Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yes. Because when you go in there and you're asking for whatever it is, it's just like they want to know why. But why? Now, this is your doctor who has been working with you, and I can understand that several patients don't. Feel free, open the chart, take a look. But your documentation should reflect and be in conjunction with what I am saying as your patient, and you've been treating me. Now, a brand new doctor who is evaluating for the first time, but someone we're speaking of in this sense that has been treating you. So, what are the requests that your doctor ignores or require you to ask again? Well, here's a few. Extension of time off from work. That's the number one request, right? I need another week. I'm due back on Friday. Could you extend it to Monday? For whatever reason it may be, okay? Change of or increase the dosage of a medication. Well, maybe you feel like it's not giving you any results. You want a higher dosage, or you're saying the side effects of this medication is not worth taking that. I want a total different medication. A second opinion. Look, I'm not in agreement with what you said. I'd like a referral to see another physician, an alternative form of treatment. Well, you know, 2, 3, 10, 20 people with the same diagnosis. However, these people have used a different medication, or they've used an alternative form, and their results far outweigh yours, and they don't have the side effects. So you want your physician to acknowledge that. And my personal favorite is your exact diagnosis. I always say it's not like charades, it's not sounds like. It is what it is. I tell you, we can go along with. There's two things that are very similar, and we're going to do this to rule something out. That's fine. It is not okay when it's just like it's a secret from you. No, absolutely not. Now, here's something else I want to talk to you about and ask if this has ever happened to you on our way to giving him or her annual review. Have you ever canceled or rescheduled an appointment due to the intimidation you feel when you go to the doctor? But you still pay. See, that's what I'm trying to talk about. You cancel it, you reschedule it, you conveniently forget it because of the nonsense that you have to deal with, and you don't feel you should have to. You already paid the monthly fee, you're going to pay that copay, and then on top of all of that, that parking, and then when you get there, someone is going to be giving you intimidation, mistreating you, making you feel like, why are you back? Why did you take my money? Why don't you say no? No, thank you. That's not going on. You still pay. And so, my mission with this series is not to be against the doctor. No, this time I'm coming after you, you, the patient, who are going to the doctor on a continuous basis, or you, the patient, who are going to the doctor on a consistent basis because you cannot deal with the doctor's attitude or the way they disregard you, disrespect you, and are not giving you excellent health care. And you still pay. Listen, excellent health care, not a privilege. It's your right. Exercise your rights and handle your health care responsibility. That's what we're going to be talking about, giving you tips and tools in order to do that. But first of all, we have to admit to ourselves what we are not doing. We don't have the best health. We're not getting restored health because we're not going. We're not taking the medicine. We're not complaining about the medicine. We're just sort of, well, let me just see how it works out. You think, and I just said this to someone, when you get your diagnosis or whatever it is, and you don't feel bad, you don't really think you have it. Once you feel bad, then you say, okay, I'm sick, and you start taking the medicine or whatever the restrictions dietary. Once you feel better, then you stop doing both. It can't work like that. And it won't work like that if you give your doctor a review, if you are operating with a PCP that is not just a physician, but your collaborative partner. There's a partnership there, and you are not the silent partner. That's very important. You are an equal partner, and you are collaborating for one cause, and that is to get your health restored to excellence and to have excellent healthcare service as you move forward on this healthcare journey. All right, everyone. So just know I'm going to be, it's going to be you and me as patients. We're going to be talking about our responsibilities so that we will be just at peace as we give annual reviews to our physicians. And as always, if you want to be a part of the Powerful Patient Movement, I invite you. If you want to know more about Angie's Pace, speak with me, anything you need to know about, you can go to Linktree/Pro Patient Advocate. So I'm Angela McGowan, your professional healthcare advocate, caregiver strategist, author, publisher. I help you navigate through healthcare's sea of red tape. And I create strategies that allow you to give excellent healthcare to those that you love and care for as you care for yourself as well. And this month, the rest of the month, I'm going to help you get things together so that you can give your doctor an annual review. He or she, they need it. And you deserve to know that you have the best, okay? I'm leaving you with those two things, blessings and joy. Why? Because they both belong to you. Have an excellent day. I will talk to you tomorrow, and I'll try to be at my regular time, 9:05. Happy. Bye.